Welcome back to Just the Mix. I'm Justin. Today I got a video for you guys on developing film at home. It's very cost effective, definitely save you a lot of money in the long run. Now, by no means am I dissing the professional studio labs. They do great and fantastic work to make sure that you get, your pictures and your negatives back in the best quality possible. For me, it's just a little bit out of my budget, and spending $20 to $30 every 3-4 months, depending on how long your chemicals last and how many rolls you develop. It's just a little more affordable for me. And not only that, but I enjoy the full process of shooting the film and developing it myself. It's a little more intimate, in my opinion. But yeah, let's get to it. So what you're going to need are 3 chemistry bottles, 1 tub, a thermometer, a beaker, some stick to mix the chemicals with, your chemistry packet. I'm going to be using the powdered chemistry in this instance. I used to use the Cinestill liquid one. It works just as well as this one. Distilled water, Paterson Tank. Now the Paterson Tank comes with 2 reels. You're able to develop 2 rolls of 35mm film at once, or 1 roll of 120 film. All you have to do is just turn it and pop it out. A hanger, binder clips, or whatever these clips are called. Gloves. Now I can't stress this enough. Buy gloves, buy gloves, buy gloves. When I first started doing this, sometimes I'd splash chemicals on my hands, and it's not pleasant. Now make sure your room is well ventilated, because the chemicals definitely aren't good for you. Just make sure you're following the instructions to the T, and you should be okay. Now what we're going to go ahead and do and start off with first is transferring our film to the Paterson tank. And I'll go ahead and demonstrate that here. Make sure you're in a space that is dark. No light will come in through whatsoever. I don't have a darkroom bag, but I do go into my closet and I put multiple layers on the sliding door to make sure that there's no light leaks, and I do everything completely in the dark. But as you see here in the background, I am showing you on a dummy roll that I have here how to load it into the 35mm sprocket. And once you do this a couple times, you kind of get the feel for it. Now I recommend using gloves so that way you don't get fingerprints on the film. So once you get that all closed in the Paterson tank, locked up tight, make sure everything's closed properly, you can go ahead and start heating up your chemicals. I don't remember. You've been doing this long enough, you should know, right, Justin? So what you want to do is you want to heat your chemicals up to 106 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, I use a little tea kettle where I boil water, and I also run water from the faucet. It's better to use a sous vide, so that way you're able to maintain the temperature throughout. But what I like to do is I get it up to the temperature that it's needed. Maybe I'll go above the temperature, so like if I'm trying to hit 106, maybe I'll shoot for like 108, 110, and then I'll let it cool down until it hits the target temperature. Mind you, when you are developing, you are going to be losing some heat, so if you do shoot it over by a little bit, you should be okay. So first we're going to bring the developer bleach fixer and the water wash to about 106 degrees Fahrenheit. Now it's optional to pre-wash your film, but it is recommended. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to put in the developer at 106 degrees Fahrenheit for 3 minutes. Now we want to make sure that we agitate this every 30 seconds or so, whether we spin it or we use the stir stick. If I'm lazy, I'll use the stir stick. If I want to get a little workout in, maybe I'll spin it. So after that has been developing for 3 minutes, we're going to go ahead and pour it back into our beaker, so that way we can pour it back into the bottle for reuse. Now we're going to want to do a water stop bath for 60 seconds. It's pretty important because you don't want, the last thing you want to do is mix your developer and your bleach, because you'll make something pretty nasty. And I've done that once, never again. Also, make sure you dispose of your chemicals properly. Take it to your local waste management center. Next up, what we're going to do is we're going to add the bleach for 3 minutes. Make sure this is at 103 degrees Fahrenheit. Repeat the process, agitate it every 30 seconds or so. And we're going to go ahead and pour it back into the beaker and pour it back into the bottle for reuse. After doing that, you're going to want to rinse and wash 3 times, same as before. Now we're going to go ahead and add the fixer for 5 minutes Again, maintaining the 103 degrees Fahrenheit temperature, stirring every 30 seconds, and pouring back for reuse. Then we'll go ahead, rinse, and wash 3 times. We'll hang it up on our clips, and we'll let it dry for about an hour and a half. Now, I don't have a squeegee to clear the film, so I'll use my hands and the gloves to get as much water as I can get off as possible. And when it dries, what I'll do is I'll grab a Q-tip before scanning, and I'll rub on the glossy side just to go ahead and get off the water leak, and I'll clean it with a microfiber cloth. And there you have it. That's how you develop film at home. I'll do another video on scanning, which is it's not too hard. You just need to have yourself a good scanner and of course the film slides. And then I'll go ahead and go over how I edit my film too. But that's pretty much it. This is pretty cost effective. You can develop about 20 rolls of 35mm film. Now you can also develop ECN2 film, which is cinema film. It has a black remjet layer on the back, so pretty much all you're going to do is just wipe it off in some warm water and then hang them up to dry. That's the only step that you do after this. And I'll put up some pictures here of what that looks like. If you don't use the proper filter, it could have a blue hue. But if you're shooting in daylight, make sure you're using, say, 250D. And if you're shooting indoors with fluorescent lights, make sure you use like 250T, which is the tungsten rated film. Cinestill, they make their own without the remjet, which gives you the halations, which is beautiful, honestly. I know a couple people that shoot that film. I have yet to try it. Maybe I'll do a video on that coming up soon here. But yeah, well, there you have it. Thanks for tuning in. This is how you develop 35mm film at home with the chemicals. It's pretty cost affordable, like I said. And if you do it enough, you definitely do get the hang of it. Now, everything I've stated here in the video will be linked in the description, all the Amazon links, so that way you can go ahead and buy that for yourself. Again, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to watch more. Ring that notification bell, and we'll see you in the next one. Love yourself. Tell your friends you love them. Peace.